very privileged and honored to have here with us Representative Cedric Hayden. He, of course, I mentioned he's one of the chief sponsors for the dental bill, HB 2706. He's been a supporter of CAN, but not only that, Cedric is a very special representative to us because of the great work that he's done for our people in the FSM, specifically in Chuuk, in the Chuuk Islands. He has, for many years now, provided a free dental clinic for our communities back home, and he hasn't gotten much recognition for this work. I know he's doing it from the goodness of his heart, and today I want all of us here to recognize this great work and sacrifice that he's done for our communities in the islands, but also here in the U.S. side. So as a token of our appreciation and our great gratitude and thanks for the hard work you've done for our people, our children, our uncles and aunties who mean a lot to us, we'd like to present you with a gift of our appreciation.
Oh, wow.
I'm not only representing the COFA Alliance National Network as the president, but also as the Consul General for the Federated States of Micronesia. So I represent His Excellency President Peter M. Christian of the FSM, as well as the other COFA countries, and our ambassador in DC. We present to you this plaque that says, "With our deepest appreciation, the COFA Alliance National Network hereby presents Representative Cedric Hayden with this gift in recognition for your passion, unconditional commitment, and enduring dedicated service to the Micronesian people of FSM for operating a free dental clinic from 2012 to the present."
Thank you.
So,
Yes,
thank
yes.
All right.
So thank you very much. Did you want me to say a few words?
Oh yes,
or,
please, please.
Thank you very
As much time
much.
as you want.
Privileged to be here. You got a great group. I've been in oral health and dentistry literally my whole life, if you count my father. First time I went to Federated States of Micronesia, Chuuk specifically, Truck Island. We know whichever we, when I was a kid, it was Truck. I was 9 years old, and my father, when I grew up, traveled the world and provided free public health to people around the world. That was an area that we actually visited, but we didn't have a clinic there. He was working in Guam part-time and many other places in the world. So I spent 6 months or so in Guam during one of those rotations and came over and saw the island. Fast forward, graduated from dental school in 1994, so I still actively practice here in the U.S. and have a full-time dental license in the Federated States of Micronesia after going through the proving process. Right. We first flew there, Randy Meyer and I first flew there, and as many areas, communication is difficult, so we went there in person to see the island and look for locations to place a clinic, and also to set up an appointment for a future appointment. A lot of stuff, a lot of communication, as you're aware, is done in person. And so we did that, and then we set up an appointment with the health ministry there, went through the process of getting a license. They gave me opportunity to have a license for 6 months, and they kind of wanted us to prove our theory. And we did. We worked really hard. We had a couple of shipping containers, got it. Madsen actually provided the shipping for free. They donated that service, and we got the clinics, and I think I had about 10 days left on that 6 months. So I could roll over and apply for a permanent license and get going there, and went through that process. Now permanently licensed, And last week or this month, we have placed full-time staff there. We do we're in 3 other international locations that we place full-time staff at. And for some reason, it's been difficult for our organization that we work with to get full-time staff there, but we do have a full-time dentist there now, and on a 2-year contract. So hopefully it will be opened, every work day for the next couple of years, and then we have some contracts hopefully lined up after that. So our original intent was to go for 5 years. Kind of fell in love with the place, enjoyed it. We've been there, with actually the prep time. We've been there about 8 years now, with some prep time that went into getting started there. Here in the U.S., came and got involved with politics because of the same issue. We actually had, I got to tell you, building a house and getting a clinic set up was easier with your government than it was with my government. that is true. We sent a shipping container over there, and we had a 4-bedroom house built within about 14 days, and did the appropriate permitting process and got licensed to do that. Tried to do the same thing here in the U.S., in Oregon, and to my shock was found that we couldn't. They wouldn't accept a variance to the permit process, so that's how I got involved with the Oregon legislature. One of the clinics that you have in the Federated States of Micronesia was actually scheduled to go to one of the rural, economically depressed places in Oregon, and I couldn't get the permits. It got rejected. I tried a bigger place to go to, a bigger town, thinking that they might be a little more open-minded too, and it was rejected there too. So I said, hey, about this thing, we're placing it somewhere, and Federated States of Micronesia ended up with it. We were still planning on coming there. We were just building a second one to go to Federated States of Micronesia, so you got the first one. So it got moved up. We built the second one. But I came to the legislature with a very focused concept of getting better access to health care, specifically oral health. And had the good opportunity from Speaker Kotek here that is the controlling person of who's on committees in this side or the House side. And she gave me a wonderful opportunity. I appreciate that very much. She put me as Vice Chair Healthcare on the committees, and so I think I appreciate that. It has become a ton of work, right? I never realized the volume in the hundreds and thousands. We do about 4,000 bills in the building in a session. We move maybe 1,000 of those, but we read them, and that's split up by committees, and a lot of those are in healthcare policy. And so I think we've done really well. I fought hard for your oral health, or the COFA bill that you mentioned the first time that went around. When you got physical health, I fought hard to get oral health part of that package. Budgets are a choice, and the physical health got through, which is helpful. And this time we're trying to get the oral health through. We're trying. I got word today that we will get permission to move it to a committee that will keep it live. We have some amendments coming, so I'm hopeful that we'll get folks here in Oregon some oral health coverage. So open to any questions. Thank you very much. A wonderful plaque. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Did you put the shipping?
So it was interesting when we went to place it. We had we ended up being on the 3rd location. When we went there, the first location that was offered for us to lease, and I guess historically you have some property ownership issues there. Everybody's familiar with it. I guess courthouse burned down, and property claims are difficult. So there were property claims on the first 2, conflicting property claims on the first 2 properties that we were trying to lease. And then we are directly across from the community college now, COM, on a gated property there that's provided to us by one of your business owners there. So we're directly across from the community college, or COM. Cool. Great location. It's good place. I take my family. I got little kids. It's fenced and has a little yard for them to play in. So it's
Do you
really.
have a website for this?
We do. It's Caring Hands Worldwide, all one word, caringhandsworldwide.org. And it has that locations. We're in Madagascar, Zambia, and developing Mongolia and Peru.
Nice.
Lieutenant Hayden, would you tell them about how many people you personally see when you go there and what the kind of work you do?
So when we go, we're serious about it. When I go, we take 25 slots in the morning and 25 slots in the afternoon. They always fill up. The first day or so, until it gets on the radio, usually my understanding is there's a public announcement on the radio. So we see 50 clients a day, and we provide services from cleanings, fillings, extractions. So it's preventative services are stressed and important, educational services, handout toothbrush, toothpaste, educational material to every client that comes in, and we can't keep up. I mean, we take the full 60 every day, and if my back's not hurting too, it's hard to quit, right? But there's always, it's outdoor, it's open, so the clinic's indoor and covered outdoor, and we have benches set up there, and people wait, and at the end of the day, there's 50 people and 10 more people waiting outside, so it's difficult to walk away from that. But yeah, we have 50 clients a day. Our full-time dentist that is there, we don't ask that. I do that myself just because I try to get as much done when I'm there, and we work long days, but it's 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon. And mostly a first come, first served basis, although we work to schedule with the schools and get groups in, particularly with the kids, that they can bring their school down and 2 weeks prior to that, and got the staff that's going to be there hopefully for 2 years if the contract continues through. Our organization hires them and places them when we can. It is a little difficult with our contacts to get visas to get in there, and not from Micronesia, but through the U.S. because they typically have to come through Guam. And believe it or not, that requires a visa. And we've had a couple of contracts in place over the last 8 years that we have not been able to get the United States to give us a waiver to get around that problem. And they weren't willing to ride the ferry for 3 hours or three, for a long period of time, however many days that takes to do that. So we couldn't get the workaround. And then Nauru came in after those contracts. So anyway, it's been a struggle. There's been, visa problems and things that we didn't expect to try and get a dentist placed there, but we finally done it.
Great.
Good job.
Do we have any more questions? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and Representative Reagan, Hayden, sorry. We have another gift from the COFA community that we'd like to present to you, and if you don't mind, I'd like to
please
bring
do.
it over to you.
It fits over my hair,
We'd like to thank you for all your support for the COFA citizens, and we truly appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, thank